It was all the dream! Half an hour to pull something out of my ass. Oh my what? One day in the lab, I tried to make a story machine to write all of my stories for me. I only got halfway through, however, and ended up with a sort of story randomizer instead. So I thought I'd gather you all, my working observers, to take it for a spin. But for its maiden voyage, I'm not just gonna roll it and spend time making the story, no. I'm gonna give myself 30 minutes. Right, let's begin rolling our short story. Very excited about this one. The genre is probably one of the most important things to roll, and we got 4 horror. Ooh, okay, I am already misspelling horror. Not a great start to this writing challenge. Primary setting. That is a 1. Urban. Ooh, an urban horror. Yeah, there's lots we can do with an urban horror. For the 4th perspective. Okay, the horror setting that might. Oh, I have an idea already. That might lend itself really quite nicely. How many are going to be in this? I'm hoping for maybe 2. Oh! Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now we get to the fun part. So right now we've got a 4th perspective urban horror story with at least 2 characters. Whoops. With at least 2 characters. But now we get to the fun part, the cliche and the inserts and modifiers. Let's roll us a d8 to get our cliche. 2. It was all the dream! Okay, hang on. Alright, so we can actually really... That could lend itself nicely to a horror if I do it correctly. Okay, oh my goodness, I only have half an hour to pull something out of my ass! That is d10. This could make or break everything. Make the main characters animals! Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Part of this. Okay, I can't think about it. I'm just gonna do it. And okay, let's get writing. So there I had it, my randomized story. I had to come up with a 4th perspective urban horror story about animals, with the "it was all a dream" trope. At first, I had no idea how the hell I was gonna pull off a story, but I got right into it. There's 2 characters, 4th perspective. That is like a we. It's kind of like a group thing. Fuck. Okay. So It Was All a Dream is a subversion of expectation, so I can't kind of start with a lofty, dreamy, explicit, dreamy language. Okay, horror. What's going to be scary? Okay, I think I've got an idea. Squirrels. Urban. Squirrels are urban. This was much more of a struggle than I first anticipated, but the challenge was far from over, so I thought I'd just start writing and see what happened. Oh, okay. Alright, okay. Shit, okay. How about we? Starting off strong with the we. Oh my goodness. At first, I sort of stumbled around a brief image that formed in my head. Flowery language allowed me to disguise my general lack of direction. Fleeting as the wind rustled and shifted. After establishing something, I knew I needed to reflect and think on the prompts I needed to heed. Oh god, this is going to be a very much suspense-driven horror story. Committing to the idea of a suspense story, I tried to get into the meat of the story, but I often found myself getting stuck. Oh my, what? That's a difficult from our, what's that word? Oh, I'm getting stumped already. Goodness gracious. Sure, fuck it. After the first 10 minutes had passed, I felt like I had the intro down. It was at this point I shifted gears to get the story really rolling. So, okay, the idea, I've got a pretty solid idea of what I want the horror element of this to be. So far, we've been talking about these cubs. You don't know they're foxes yet. They might not be important. So, you've got this group, maybe there is just the 2 of them, of these cubs looking into this bush, confused. They don't know what they're seeing yet. but they know they're missing their mum. So they're looking into this bush and they are confused. I know what I want the horror to be. Maybe I need to ham on the urbanness of it. The litter and the bush implies an urban setting. For perspective, I'm just gonna say there's 2 cubs. Cliché, it was all a dream, is what I'm already struggling with. I don't know how ready to end this with that twist going. Okay, let's just keep writing. Maybe we can just have a slap draft, and then we can file it out in the last 5 minutes. Right. Cars. It's weird that the foxes can label cars and like humans and stuff, but I don't really care. I hope that doesn't detract from the story too much. With about half of my time left, I had a sudden brainwave. Ah, no, I'm gonna do the dream thing. Okay, let me just power through this. I was really on a roll now, and knew mostly how I wanted the story to end. To keep your suspense, I'll omit what else I'm writing, but will allow you to enjoy the sounds of me panicking and struggling. Foliage? The bush shook. The bush shook. Leaves. Why are there no other terms for leaves? Leaves like 10 times in this thing already. No, there, I've got 10 minutes! Okay. Oh, and this is the first person now. Fuck! No! Maybe this is the story? No, because I need the dream thing. How can I have a dream in the 4th perspective? It was all a dream. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. It was all a dream, right? This is all a dream. Fuck. So, oh my god, 7.5 minutes to go. Okay. Such a cooler ending in mind. After 30 minutes of scrambling and writing, I had finished the story. The only thing left to do now is to read it to you and evaluate how successful I was in this challenge. Please enjoy. We couldn't move as we stared into the bush. Leaves muddied together to form a mystery mosaic. Our eyes couldn't yet perceive the grand design, its image fleeting as the wind rustled and shifted any outlines. We were only young cubs, our eyes not jaded yet by years of knowing, by years of growing stale and weary. Yet slowly, from the sparse bush, littered with plastic, glass, and metal, a more solid form came into view. Eyes transfixed, we didn't dare look at each other. Feeling each other's heckles rise was enough. Hours of play felt like only minutes. We didn't have our mother's presence to distract us from our make-believe. Yet her absence grew like a vacuum, growing steadily until it could no longer be ignored. And so we stared into the bush. What we were missing with our mother's maternal presence, we couldn't help but find between the inky black leaves. Familiarity poked through the glimpses of darkness behind the silently rustling branches. No threat, not even speeding cars nor angered human, compared to the sudden terror we felt when we noticed her eyes, staring at us from behind the wavering bush. Slowly descending like a row of stars, what was unmistakably a jaw descended. Coated teeth sunk behind the swaying leaves. There was no more confusion. We were staring at our mother. And yet we were too scared to greet her. Her features grew steadily, affixed points behind the restless leaves. As she approached closer and closer, the bush shook more and more. Twigs waved a warning as she stopped right at the threshold. There was little more the leaves could conceal behind their frantic fretting. No mistake could be made. We were staring into the eyes and teeth of our mother, and her hunt for food was not over. We woke from the nightmare. Laying on the grass, we looked up to see our mother standing over us, as she always did. The nightmare drained from our forms as relief washed through our very essence. But when we went to stand, we noticed we couldn't. It was our mother standing over us, but her face was no longer hers. She let our blood drip from her mouth onto our emaciated bodies. She quickly moved on, and now there's only darkness to cradle us. Not too bad. If I'm gonna pat myself on the old back there, not too bad. It's not very outside the box. It is a straightforward story. There are no kind of obvious slash subtle larger themes, no sort of like foreshadowing, no anything clever or technical with the story. It is just a straight up standard fox cubs get eaten by their mother. And that's it. That is the story. There is kind of fucking nothing else going on with this one. Nothing clever. No, grand. But I guess I don't know. This is decent enough. So have we done everything? Genre, horror. I would say this is horror. Got children getting eaten by their mother, and it's very spooky, intense. Horror. Primary setting, urban. Cars, humans, foxes, litter. That's pretty urban. Fourth perspective, always with the we's. Sure, there are at least 2 characters. The cliche, it was all a dream. Yes, I didn't really play around with it too much. It is a this little bit where it's like it was just a dream. And we wake up and our mother is there. Happy days. I didn't do anything too grand with it. It's just kind of there for the sake of then subverting the expectations of being like, actually, it was real and they're dead now. And all the animals are main characters. So I would say a success. A lovely little urban horror story about foxes getting eaten by their mother. Told from the perspective of both, or all 3. Doesn't matter. You could argue that there are exactly 2 characters. You've got the mum, and you've kind of got this perspective that is kind of all the foxes with the we, or all the cubs even with the we. Maybe it's kind of all of their souls have got together after death, and that is the character, their conjoined souls. You could argue that. But either way, 2 characters. What was I talking about again? Oh no, I'm joking myself off. I am kind of happy with this. I didn't really think I could do anything with these prompts. Fourth perspective, all animal characters with the all a dream. That fucking sucks, but I'm happy I did it. Why don't you guys, any of you out there, have a go at writing the story? Throw it down in the comments or fucking whatever, or just do it for your own personal sake. Grow as a writer. I'm pretty happy with this. There's nothing too mind-boggling. It is just a straightforward story, which right now I'm happy enough with that. As I do more and more of these, I do hope that I become more talented with immediately coming off with like a sick story idea and weaving all sorts of cool, subtle themes and character development and stuff into them. But for half an hour from inception to proofreading, not overly too bad. What do you guys think? Was this a success? I don't know, I'm going to stop rambling now. I don't really know what to do with myself. That was a very quick half an hour of my life. So, yep, this exists now. This story is out there. This is a thing. What should I call it? That's good enough for now. Thank you all so much for watching and joining me on this story. I hope you liked the story. I hope you guys wrote your own stories. You could copy the randomizer, make your own thing, or you could have a go at doing this, whatever, or you could just move on and do something else with your time. Well, that is me from the lab. Thank you, Wacky Observers, so much for coming along and doing this little experiment with me. And I will see you guys back at the lab.